Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, March 7th, and I'm calling this Facilities Committee meeting to order, and we have all members present. I need a motion to approve the agenda, please.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
4-0, thank you. Motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Motion to approve minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, 4-0. Roofing bids, Marshville Elementary.
Yes, Ms. May, I'm sorry. I think Mrs. Brown's having some problems with audio, so I'm going to ask Mr. McManus if he wants to present those roofing bids.
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. You have in front of you roofing bids. First up is Marshville Elementary School, and bids were received on January 18th. And the lowest bidder was Piedmont Commercial Roofing in the amount of $292,540. You have that document in front of you, and happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Does anyone have questions?
You mean 292,000, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just said $292,540, but yes, $292,540, correct.
And this is an action item.
Yes.
That is correct. Recommending to the facilities, staff is recommending to the facilities committee to recommend to the full board to award to Piedmont Commercial Roofing.
Motion to recommend approval to the full board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, 4-0. Roofing bids, Monroe High.
Correct. Similar issue here with in front of you as far as Monroe High roofing bids they received on January the 18th. Bar Roofing was the lowest responsive bidder in the amount of $570,000. Staff recommends to the facilities committee to the full board for award of bid to Bar Roofing in that amount.
Danny, what part of the school is that roofing?
I was getting ready to ask the same thing.
That's a great question, and I'm sorry I do not have that information. I do apologize.
I assume it's
I can get that to you though. Not a problem.
Well, I assume it's a significant portion for that kind of money.
Yeah, I've got Mrs. Brown. I'll try to text her and see if she can relay that information to me by text, and I'll get that to you.
And have we used Bar Roofing
Yeah, I
before?
was going to ask that too.
Yes, we have used them before. I do know the answer to that question. We have, and it's favorable.
Okay. Do you all want to wait until you find out which sections or?
She can evidently hear us. She said it's the
Okay.
main gym, the lobby area, and the courtyard canopy.
How many bidders are we getting on these roofing projects?
There's
There's a bid sheet in the.
Yeah, it looks like
document for it.
8.
Oh,
it's like 8 on this one.
okay. That's good. It seems to be we're getting more folks responding to these bid requests, it seems.
We are. I actually talked to a contractor last night that said they're seeing that across the board, that more subcontractors are bidding on work now, and so that appears that they're starting to get hungry again. So that's good news for us.
I'll make a motion to recommend approval to the full board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, 4-0, thank you. Roofing bids, Monroe Middle.
Correct. So same. We took roofing bids on January the 18th. We had 8 contractors submitting the bids. The lowest responsive bidder was Owens Roofing in the amount of $383,072. And the staff recommends the facilities committee to the full board of award of that amount to Owens Roofing.
And that area is the main entry and the classroom.
Okay. And we had 8 contractors bidding on this as well, it appears.
Correct.
Mhm.
Make a motion to recommend approval to the full board.
Second.
Sarah, are you frozen? Uh-oh. I think Sarah's frozen. Looks like, there you are.
All right, I'm back again. Sorry
Oh,
about. Okay, Monroe Middle. All in favor?
I made a motion to recommend approval to the full
And I think
board.
Matt did the second, right?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, 4-0. Custodial supply bids? Mr. McManus?
Yes, ma'am. Bids were received on January 10th and a lot of review went into that. So reason for the long delay in getting that to you all. You have the long list in front of you with the long bid tab. I'm happy to answer any questions about this bid. It is multiple awards to multiple vendors that you see listed in front of you. And it is for a 4-year contract to the vendors that you have in front of you to be purchased on an as-needed basis.
My only question was, so where it says no award, so does that mean we have nobody for vacuum bags and backpack bags?
It's a great question.
Oh, no, there's a lot that say that. Okay,
We have plenty of stock in some of those items. And so we don't really think we're going to need any moving forward in this year. And then the other ones that we do, it'll be a minimal amount. So we are not issuing an award to that. We will just buy the onesie twosies, if you will.
okay.
Oh,
Any other questions?
How much is this contract amount up to? Like a total spend?
Total spend, our custodial budget for supplies each year is approximately, and that's all inclusive of everything, not just what you see here, of $800,000. And if I'm not mistaken, it is not a cap per year of what to spend, and it is not a minimum per year to spend.
Okay.
And the quantities you see is why I think purchasing bid it that way. The quantities you see is per case.
So E2 Mechanical and Refrigeration LLC is the vendor for all these products. Is that correct?
Well,
No,
no.
we're on the, sorry.
Yeah, it says custodial I'm sorry, am I looking at the wrong thing? Nope. I see. I'm sorry.
Any other questions?
Recommend approval to the full board. Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, 4-0, thank you. Sun Valley Middle HVAC bids?
Yes, bids were received January 18th. 4 contractors submitted bids. E2 Mechanical Refrigeration was the lowest bidder and in the total amount of $303,099. Staff recommends the Facilities Committee to the full board for award to E2 Mechanical for that amount.
Have we worked with these folks before?
We have, and it has been favorable.
Danny, on this one, it says savings will be utilized for the coverage. What savings?
So it's being funded out of FY22 CIP, and we have coming up, we have next on the line, Shallow Valley Primary Rooftop Units, where there's significant savings in that budget amount. So we were going to pull from there.
Do we know why there was an overage on this one?
While the bids were over budget.
Yeah.
I do not. I do not. It was because we were doing the cooling tower, the chiller, and the chiller pump, and we're trying to get all those taken care of. And it's just the cost of when we actually had the budget done in FY22 versus now. If I'm not mistaken, it was a long engineering process and a redo.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I'll make the motion that we approve this and send it to the full board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. 4-0. Rooftop unit bid Shiloh Valley Primary.
Yes, so bids were received on February 22nd. Two contractors submitting their bids that you have in front of you. Byram Heating and AC was the lowest bidder in the amount of $578,000. It is under budget and is funded at a FY22 CIP. And staff recommends to the facilities committee to the full board for that amount to Byram Heating and Air.
Any questions?
Is there any particular reason why we only had two bidders on this? Is it particularly tricky job?
I do not think it's a particularly tricky job. It's a rooftop units, pull them off with the crane, put them back on with the crane, and go from there. Other bidders may have just already been booked for the summer, unsure.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Make a motion to recommend approval to the full board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 4-0. Thank you. Rooftop unit bids Wesley Chapel Elementary.
Yes, so bids were received on February 27th. Two contractors were submitting. The lowest responsive bidder was E2 Mechanical in the amount of $852,254. And as you see here, it's a multi-year process. We started with the piping. Now we're going to the rooftop units and then the unit ventilators. So it spans several years, and then we'll use savings to cover that out of FY22 and FY21 to cover the overage. Staff recommends to the facilities committee to recommend to the full board to award the contract to E2 Mechanical in that amount of $852,254.
Any questions on this one? Can I get a motion, please?
Motion to send to full board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, 4-0. Thank you. Sole source request. Excuse me, Interstate Solutions, Mr. McManus.
Yes, thank you. So in front of you, you have sole source letter for our custodial chemical contract to Interstate Solutions. Excuse me, I'll get it out correctly. Is nothing that you all have not seen before. It is a similar letter that you all have approved in the past. It's just we have to do it on an annually basis. Happy to entertain any questions you may have.
Any questions?
What's the difference between this one and the previous custodial bid we had?
So the previous
Is it just
custodial, I'm sorry.
Is it just chemicals on this one?
That is correct. These are our chemicals. In our custodial closets, we have a dispenser mounted for these chemicals and for each one of our sites. Correct.
Need a
I'll make the
motion to
motion
set. Oh,
I'll
thanks.
make the
Mike.
motion that we approve to full board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
4-0. Surplus land request, NCDOT, Mr. Moore.
Yes, make sure I'm unmuted. So this is a land that we have. We were gifted this piece of land. It's near the intersection of Highway 601 and 74, Highway 74. You can see here, this is the on-ramp to 74 westbound. It's a little 0.09 parcel that connects to nothing else. And the best we can tell, we were just gifted it. DOT is getting ready to start design on a roundabout in this area. So they have asked for a right of way, but they can't buy the whole property from us. So we decided we wanted to sell the property and then let DOT just deal with somebody else on only getting part of the land for DOT rights right away. And we recommend that you surplus that and allow us to go through the bid process.
So we own 0.9 of an acre. This is that land that we're not sure where we got it from or whatever.
Correct.
Correct.
Yes.
And they want 0.10 of an acre.
Yeah, I think that's right, Mr. Helms. I don't remember the exact amount, but they just want part of it, and DOT says that they cannot buy the whole parcel from us. So instead of having just a bunch of, we do have an adjacent landowner that is interested in buying the property, but we have to go through the advertisement and the upset bid process in order to sell it, and he's aware of that.
Well, it's definitely not something that we're going to be building a school on. I'll make a motion to recommend approval of the full board.
Yes, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Surplus mobile unit request, City of Monroe Fire Department, Mr. Moore?
Yes, so we have been asked by the City of Monroe Fire Department. I think this is something we've done in the past. Danny, you can confirm that, but we have been asked if we had 2 mobile units that they can use for a little bit of from training, maybe some office area. I know, or maybe it's be training, but we have identified 2 units that we no longer need and that we can use to transfer to the City of Monroe. I think we've done this for the City of Monroe and maybe the law enforcement, Danny.
Sheriff's Department, yes, sir.
Sheriff's Department.
And they're going to pay to come get them?
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry,
There-
Mr. Moore.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt anyone. But
No, you're
yes,
fine.
they would be responsible for all expenses.
We're just
And
gonna-
they're not any that we would ever need for a class.
No, currently we do not need them for a class. One's, as you can see, is located at Somebody High. The other one's at Porter Ridge Middle School.
So at Porter Ridge Middle, we don't think we'd ever need that for a class? Or is it not in good enough shape to be a classroom?
So it is in good shape. It is currently sitting over a storm drain that has collapsed and the pier has fallen. And so the mobile unit has to be moved anyway. So it's a win for us.
Okay. Any other questions?
We're gifting.
Have
it.
we definitely transferred anything over to City of Monroe before? I know we have the sheriff.
I know we have the sheriff. I am pretty sure, Mr. Helms, that we have with the City of Monroe. But now that you say that, I'm second guessing myself, but we can
And
research
I just
that.
wonder like the legality with that, like how that works with transferring to city. I know county's not a little bit different.
I think we bounced this off Mr. Bringerwatt, our attorney, but I will go back and check and make sure.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I'm good with it as long as, I mean, yeah, so.
So should we hold off on this
Yeah.
one until that's confirmed?
Or we can do a contingent,
Okay, is that okay?
like a, yeah.
Colin, you'll double
Yeah,
check
if we
that?
find out otherwise, we'll pull it off. If you approve it and we find out otherwise, we will take it off the consent agenda for the Board of Education.
Okay. So I need a motion to approve this contingent that it's been okayed by legal.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, 4-0, thank you. CIP, Mr. Moore?
Yeah, so you've got in your packet a copy of the FY 25 through 29 CIP. What we're asking for, what we're presenting to you is the identified needs of 23,720,070 of FY 25 needs. Again, like I said, in the packet, you have our 5-year plan. But our request is that we approve the amount of 23,720,070. Recommend that to the full board. Be glad to address any questions.
Colin, where it says false, in that proposed budget, does that mean we're pulling it off? What is that? In the column marked proposed budget, it says false.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up now. I'm sorry. Danny, you want to share yours? Can you share that?
I can, and while I'm sharing, I'll address the question. So the The faults is on the first sheet. These were the items that we recommended removing, the proposed items to remove. That's why it shows faults there.
Okay.
Should show first line
Mr.
items
Scott.
2026 are.
Yes, if you'll click down on your tabs down below, Danny can show you when he pulls up. There's tabs down below. You're
Right.
looking at the proposed items to remove. Click on the
First tab.
FY 25 through 29 tab.
Right.
And when you do that, you shouldn't see any faults.
Right. And then you just sort by
Faults
year.
just means we removed it.
Gotcha.
We removed it from the
Thanks
CIP.
for putting that in a separate tab. That makes it easy.
Any other questions on this? Then I need a motion to send this 5-year plan to the full board.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, 4-0. Informational items, change order update, Mr. McManus.
Yes, thank you. You have one item on there. It's PDC HVAC replacement. You've seen the portable units in place, and it was a change order for 30,092.59. It's the boiler and building controls. Wanted to go ahead and address the rest of the controls in the building for 100% turnkey job.
Anyone have questions? No.
Does that fall within the contingency of the bid?
No, sir. There was not. I don't believe there was a contingency on this bid, so it's just a straight up change order. But we did have the funds available to do so.
Okay.
Bond update? Mr. Moore, are you taking
Yeah,
that?
I can,
Okay.
but I think Mrs. Brown has
Oh, is
called
she
in.
on? Okay. Hi,
It-
Mrs. Brown.
Maybe she's not able to do audio on her phone either.
Right.
All kinds of interesting computer problems today. You've got your bond update in your packet. Be glad to address any questions you may have about the Forest Hills High School or the East Elementary School projects.
I mean, my only question is, are we running on time?
Yeah.
We are. We're not in as good a shape as we were 4 months ago because for some reason we have more rain days than we do Sundays.
Right.
But we have both projects are still on schedule, just not as far ahead of schedule as we were, like I said, end of November.
Okay. So we haven't run into any other soil issues.
We have had some soil issues, but we anticipated them. So there were allowances in place with the contractor to cover those costs. We have not had to come back to our board for additional funds.
Are there any other issues that have been encountered which may require change orders that you're aware of?
We have not been made aware of any.
Any other questions? Construction update? Mr. McManus?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So in front of you, you have a little brief construction update. It seems to be self-explanatory, but happy to answer any questions on the items listed.
No questions? Okay. Looks like our next meeting date is March 27th via Zoom at 9 a.m. and I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
4-0.